you know, give Keisha a little bit of what she had been giving him. It just sucks that this is the timing because this is the moment where he actually could turn a corner with her, and she's a little bit more open and raw, being triggered by Simone's prognosis and her the tie to for her mom. Um, so it just sucks in reference to timing. But yeah, I don't fault him for ignoring her. I don't fault him for like, well, not necessarily ignoring him. I don't fault him for being distant because I always will fault people for like ignoring someone. I think that if you are done, you need to be done. Like I'm not a big fan of ghosting, um, but I don't fault him for how he's reacting to her right now, given all that we know. I'm so glad you brought that up, Kofi. I'm so glad you brought that up because you're right, Kenny and Sha, and like I've also said it of like Cam can give a lot of what JR gives if given the opportunity. However, and or calm, he don't want to give certain things that leans a little bit more to the feminine persuasion, and JR don't have a problem with it. And I think that would be a great example. Unfortunately. Yeah, so is there something to be said of like wanting the experience and that doesn't necessarily have to be tied to like desiring a person? Well, I'm not gonna put all of that on JR though. I'm gonna put half of that on like she was really looking for a distraction. Keisha was looking for a way to really like not think about the impending doom and like her mama and like all of the things. Like so this was like a welcome distraction. It honestly so much of what Keisha and JR got going on is starting to feel a lot more serendipitous than they made it out to be before. Like I feel like it's honestly the perfect storm brewing. She's looking for something to distract her and he's just providing a great distraction and she's going to get feelings mixed up in like this was the perfect thing right on time so maybe this could be and like no it was just the perfect thing at the right time to distract you, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said I think like there's something to be said about desiring the experience and not necessarily the person because I do feel like in this episode more than others it you could see a clear thing of like I want to be treated like this. That doesn't necessarily mean I want it to be treated like this by you. For me, the personalization piece came when he clocked the thing about her mom tied to Simone's experience. Everything else, it was like it could be anybody doing this. I would want to experience it. But the seeing into her, that's the part of like, oh wait, I mean, Cam definitely has to say something moving forward. Like, he can't just come back from ship or whatever he was doing and just act like he didn't ignore her this whole entire time. Addicts XD says, and Keisha wasn't treating JR like he was still sick, like how Gabby was. I mean, I'm never penalize her for that, so there's that. I'm not gonna penalize her for caring about that man and wanting to keep him on this side of okay. Clock it. Clock it. He should have, rightfully so, because she decided to pull back. Y'all said let him live, didn't you? Y'all said give him space. She's over here handling her big business on her own. And honestly, I think it took him to a place of like, if he was to recall the last 9 months, maybe the last year and 3 months, how many times has he helped her with homework? How many times has he carried her groceries into the room? How many times has he da 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 da? I think he went back through all that. And like when she said, no, I need your help to practice the interview, she probably asked for help to do nothing. Meanwhile, you building up resentment and kicking dust at me because I'm trying to help you with your. I'm over here pulling your meds in a little pill pocket. I'm over here checking your heart. I'm doing all of these things, and I don't even need you to help me study or prepare for an interview. Yeah, let's realize the amount of distance that is there, not just in our personhood, but in the amount of effort that we're both putting into these relationships and into one another. Yeah, clock it. I said yes. As soon as he did it, I said okay. Okay, and she did nothing wrong. You should be feeling this distance because she has been doing entirely too much and you have been doing not enough. Let's get on the horn. Well, before I just said that, Kofi, did you think about how many times he was as helpful to her in her life as she has been to him? Most men don't. Well, my point is that most men don't have to think about that, but I promise you that Shy and Kenny and I have thought about that before providing our criticism previously. Like, this is all a part of what brought the smoke that we had for JR when we had it, because we naturally like go to that, and y'all don't necessarily have to think about that. JR is in love, honey. Keisha is about to knock his socks off with whatever little revelation. Y'all was talking about, see, and I didn't even want to watch the preview. I didn't watch the preview for this episode because last week y'all was like, did y'all see he gonna confess, he gonna confess? And I said, I can't take it. I can't take it. Then come to find out he is not worried about nothing but Gabby. Mm-hmm. mm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Yes. Mm. Yep. Mhm. Yeah. Sharday Foster said, "We can see what Keisha feels like she is missing. What does Keisha provide that Gabby doesn't?" I don't know if Keisha provides anything that Gabby doesn't, but I am starting to see what Keisha sees in JR that she don't see in Cam. Well, I don't know if that's the case. Because Cam has a good amount of emotional intelligence and effective communication. The thing that let me be clear, what I'm seeing that she don't see in Cam is a softness tied to what he, I guess, thinks is outside of his masculinity, or what he defines masculinity to be. JR is a little bit more flexible with that. But I think that both of them have a strong level of emotional intelligence. Both of them are highly communicative. And I don't want to take that away from Cam, the emotional intelligence part away from Cam, because Cam is operating from half of the information. I think that he would do a lot of this, he would say a lot of the same things to Keisha if he knew what JR knows. He's just not going to kiss the fingers and wrap the pinkies and do all of that stuff. He's not going to put on the petticoat and the tights, but he going to hug you and like make sure that you good. So do you think that Keisha has something that Gabby doesn't? That's the original question. Right. Kenny and Shadi, y'all think that Keisha has something that Gabby don't? Because we stand Gabby. Mm. Mm. Gotcha. In the same way. Not necessarily he can't be soft. I think that Cam has softened up quite a bit. But they have literally sprinkled in little bits of like, yeah, no, I don't do that. And I think that they did it on purpose. Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. You can do it. You know dang on well that's one thing that the All American universe still struggles with in reference to, I guess, conversation about support. It's like support only gets validated in this universe if it's like you're unwavering going along with whatever I decide to say and do, and that part is just so frustrating to me. It's crazy. Hey Keish. No worries. Mm. Yeah, that's true. I think those are really valid points. Thank you. So, do you think that the little moments of like the wrapping your finger around like the little pinky promise with the kiss and like what else do you feel like are the moments where she felt shut down by Cam's rejection of softness? Mm, that's real. That's real. And it sucks because it's like I guess a natural conflict for men and women because a lot of men, especially men, want like care about you and want to be go from a place of like trying to solve your problem and they miss the part about like you just needed to vent or being able to talk about because they don't register that as very valid as well. And that when you like first started speaking, I'm like, ah, so then is that putting Keisha in a place where she is not having enough grace and creating enough space and time for Cam to come along the way that he has with her? And that's not fair. Mhm. 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 And it's so many things at play here, right? Because I'm looking at that statement I just made and I'm like, damn, Keisha, you're not giving him any of the grace and the time and the space that he is giving you. And it has been a walk, honey, to get you to where we are now. You have been stressing us out. You have been doing the most. And we were rooting for that man to drop you like a bad habit a while ago. But then I go back to what I said at the beginning of this and like realizing how much of this is very new to Keisha, so she don't even know to ask. I think a lot of the stuff that she is falling in love with JR, she is realizing now that she feels like it's missing or it's not actually happening in her relationship. But before it was presented to her in the packaging of JR, she didn't actually realize. I think that she subscribed to, we're good if we're having sex and we're smiling and we're not actually arguing about anything, and there's nothing for me to really miss or to feel like it's lacking, but there is something lacking. She just couldn't speak to it until it was presented outside of her relationship. Does that make sense? I don't know, but let's come back to that because I want to go to Allie Nick's comment real quick. Allie just popped in, hey boo, and said Keisha treats JR as if he's her best friend, and that's an element that's missing with her romantic relationship with Cam. I'm curious to know if Keisha even views Cam as a friend. Mm-hmm. Was wild work. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Ooh. I freaking love like I really love that we get to unpack this on live because while you were saying that, what came up for me is a little bit startling. So also I'm like, should I say this? Why is Keisha still in the relationship with Cam? If she don't view him as a friend, if she doesn't give him high regard like she does JR. And that question came to mind while you were speaking. So y'all can like answer that in the chat if you want to. But like for me, I'm like, is she still in this because it's the first healthy relationship that she's been in and she's more focused on not feeling at it than she is on being actually happy and mutually healthy within it? Because when I go back to some of the interactions that we've seen from them this season, even in last episode, like her consistently texting him, she's like, he told us, he said we were good, but he's doing this. And she feels like she's checking off boxes sometimes of like, this is what a good girlfriend would do, so I need to do this. When it doesn't come, like it comes a little bit more natural in her friendship with JR. So I'm like, yo, she already checked out of this relationship and she's literally doing it. So she's not the old Keisha that like the thought about and yada yada yada, but she like maintained a relationship because it's a good guy. He has yet to do anything wrong, but aside from JR, it isn't actually what she wants. Mm-hmm. That's real. Mm, I don't know. In the chat, do y'all feel like Keisha is actually still in this relationship? Does she want to be with Cam, or is there something to her potentially just being in it because she don't want to fail? Yeah. That part. It sucks if she really don't want to be in this relationship no more. Cause it's like, girl, I need you to like figure that out. Like Cam is at least old. You figuring out where you want to be, what you want to do, because he has like, I mean, but then also, what do you owe anybody, right? Like this is life. You're figuring it out as you go along. Yada yada yada. The same age. I mean, could be. Like overall.